nobody loves a good dirty joke more than me, but when I'm doing it on stage, I always look out in the audience. If I see a family, and that's when people can come up and say, "Hey, thanks, I could bring my kid to this," and I wasn't worried about it. That's the best recognition in the world.
It's not. It doesn't seem like you're flying a flag for it.
No.
This is what everybody should be doing. You're saying, here's the area I want to work in at this time.
It's a personal choice, and thank God it's worked out.
Did that tempt you though in the early days?
Oh.
When you're like, this doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, no,
and
yeah.
what
I
is
mean,
all that?
but it's funny. A friend of mine who's a comedian, Gary Brightwell, very funny guy. We joke about that. The last show I ever do, stand-up wise, he said, "You've got to do a dirty show." And I go, I said, I would love to. I just don't know that even I would go. It's just not me. I tried it one time. Ron and I had done a blue collar date somewhere, I think in Omaha, and we went to a club. I always like to go back to the clubs where I started because I think it's important to remember where you started, not to forget. And so we went up, and Ron went up, and Ron gets in his club back, and he can get pretty blue. And so I had to go up behind him, and I was like, oh, and he was just killing. And I went up, and so I started trying to be dirty. And it was like people looked at me, as we say back in Texas, like a calf looks at a new gate. I mean, It was just, it's like their eyes it wasn't registering. Like, no, he can't do that. And I went back to doing what I did, and of course I got him back. But it was, it's funny about stand-up how it's the psyche of it, because when we started with Blue Collar, I wanted to be Jeff so bad. I wanted to be as big as him. I wanted to beat him, not in a mean way, but I wanted to outdo him. So this is how stupid comics can be. I started coming out to like rock and roll music, like it was this big rock show, and yeah, woo, and then I go right into my jokes. It's kind of like, there was no big wham. It was just like, yeah, rock and roll. Da, da. So I'm talking to my wife the other day, and it's just like, I was just trying anything, and I was trying to just haul through the material. And one night we were sitting at a bar, and I was talking to Ron, and he said, "Man," he goes, "I remember when you was in the clubs, good God, I could go up there and throw out whatever I had and just kill it. And you just walk up there with your slow delivery and just slay the room." And I was sitting there and I thought, wow, I kind of got away from what got me where I'm at, because I was so focused on being Jeff and being the best guy. They say, a lot of guys feel like you got to swing really hard to get a home run. They go, you don't. It's just like a golf swing. The smoother you swing, the further the ball's going to go. And it was the same with stand-up. I was trying too hard. And when I went back to being who I was, not only did I enjoy the show more, but I became a better comic.